Last week, European Tour star Osku Palermo came one step closer to winning the first major of the season, surviving against 3 others in eliminator competition. Today, 4 more hopefuls take to the lanes here in Las Vegas at the World Series of Bowling, hoping to join Osku in the January 15th finals of the PBA World Championship. One of those is Tom Smallwood. 2 years ago, this one-time unemployed auto worker chased his dream, qualified for the PBA Tour, and won the World Championship. Is Smallwood on his way to doing it again? We'll have to survive today. Inside the South Point Casino and Exhibition Hall here in Las Vegas, the quest for the PBA World Championship continues. One spot has been confirmed for the first major of the season. Today, one of these 4 will join Osku Palermo in mid-January. 4 times a major runner-up from Horseheads, New York, he's Ryan Shafer.
And Rob, in my mind, he's the best player in the history of the tour to have only 4 wins.
From Bogota, Colombia, Pan Am Games medalist Andres Gomez.
The smooth-stroking Colombian with the baritone pipes is looking for his first career title and first major.
One of the best from Venezuela, Ildemaro Ruiz Jr.
Adding even a little more Latin flavor to today's telecast, he's also mentored by Hall of Famer Amleto Monicelli.
And your number 2 overall seed from Saginaw, Michigan, Tom Smallwood.
From former auto worker to PBA star, this player knows what it takes to win a major.
Joining us on our World Championship coverage is the reigning champ, Chris Barnes. And Chris, man, what a wide variety of styles on today's show.
Yeah, we have a little bit of everything today. We have Ruiz, who's a little bit firmer and gets the ball down the lane. You got the voodoo roll of Ryan Shafer, the international star Gomez. He'll throw it slow and he'll really bend it. And then you got the full roller, Tom Smallwood, who picked this scorpion pattern, and all he does is show up at every major and bowl for the title. So we have a few things to look for. The scorpion pattern's long. It's awfully slick here in the arena. We're going to see a lot of transition and a lot of guys playing it in a lot of different ways.
Should be a fun show. A lot to watch here. Again, it's the eliminator format. All 4 bowlers will bowl low score eliminated. We'll do it all over again in match number 2 until only 2 remain. The winner will advance to January's PBA World Championship Finals. Rob Stone and the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, glad you're with us here this Sunday in Vegas. We are bowling today, Randy, on the Scorpion oil pattern.
41 feet in length. It was chosen by the division leading qualifier, Tom Smallwood. When I asked him, Tom, why did you pick Scorpion? He says, Randy, it's my favorite pattern, and I don't bowl very well on the other ones.
And Scorpion, just one of the oil patterns you can bowl on when you join a PBA Experience League. Check with your local bowling center. Here's Gomez leading us off. How about a split to start things off? There is Smallwood. Burst onto the scene by winning the PBA World Championship in mid-December of '09. Wonderful story. I'll never forget that moment.
Andres Gomez shooting the 2-4-10, switching to a plastic ball. He's going to try to get the bowling ball to the left side of the 2-pin and throw it over into the 10.
Open frame to start things off. Smallwood will now step up onto the right.
He's got BTM on his left hand. I don't know what it stands for, but I'm going to go out on a limb and take a guess. Be the man. Chris?
That's as good as anything I got.
Rob?
Perhaps we could have asked him what it was.
I don't think it stands for Batman. I'm going Be the Man.
It looked like he just crafted it too with some kind of pen over there. If you're going to do it, get a Sharpie on there. Make it permanent for at least an hour and a half, right? Shafer dropping that one. Shafer, a 25-year veteran on the PBA Tour, but once upon a time, this high school valedictorian had a tough choice to make: pro bowling or Cornell University.
I was valedictorian, and I also was diagnosed as a diabetic. And back then the technological advances weren't what they are now. So at that age, I thought, you know what, I've always wanted to be a Pro Bowler too, and I'm young, and I think I should try that while I'm young, and if it doesn't work out, I can go back to school. I think about it every once in a while, but I think I made the right decision.
As he said, Ryan is a diabetic, but he's had a notable career with 4 PBA titles. But after 12 trips to major finals, 12 trips, most recently last year's US Open, he has 4 runner-up finishes, still yet to bring home a major. Maybe this will be the year. Here is Ildemaro Ruiz Jr. from Barquisimeto, Venezuela. That is also the hometown of PBA Hall of Famer Amleto Monicelli. And a strike there as Ruiz follows Shafer's lead, turning in a strike as well. Last season, Smallwood made 4 television appearances, including the TOC, where he finished second to Mika Koivuniemi. He was the #1 seed at that tournament. A spare strike for Smallwood.
I think Anders is really going to have a tough time in this first match.
Why?
He's playing away from his strengths. His strengths are being soft, really bending around there. He's playing a little bit more direct, doing more what Ruiz likes to do, what Tom's very good at, and what Shafer's very good at.
So he's not very good at going straight. He likes to open everything up. He likes to go right to left a lot. And when he has to go straight, he struggles.
Yeah, it's something he's worked hard on to become better on more different patterns, but that's basically how he's made his money around the world. He does a great job of getting his hips opened up so he can project the ball left to right, but these guys broke him down. Yeah. They didn't get together. So you had guys playing 6, 7, 8. You had guys playing 12.
So open frame spare for Gomez. Shafer stepping up. He struck in the first.
Push.
Through the nose there. Shafer second at the 2008 PBA World Championship. Last year made 2 different shows. 4th at the US Open, was also part of the regional finals at the Dick Weber playoffs in Indianapolis. That concluded the season. A guy who likes to bowl with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. How did the 10 pin not get dropped?
That one hooked.
Yeah, but why would he throw that ball instead of a spare ball at the 3-6-10?
Ryan has a very interesting spare routine. He has about 3 different balls he uses at different spares, and obviously he wasn't lined up very well already, so it makes it awfully hard to move off your strike ball to throw that.
Late drop of the 10 for Gomez, his first strike.
And he's up in the 18-mile-an-hour range at release, which is about at least a mile an hour faster than I think he's really at his best.
Smallwood with back-to-back jacks, and Tom bringing a special good luck charm this week.
I wore this week. My daughter gave it to me before I left. I asked her if I took her blankie, and she said no. So she ran in her room and said, "You can take this, Daddy, for good luck. But when you get home, I need it back." So I've been wearing this all week, and that's my only superstition. But it's my daughter, so and to keep me closer to her is fine.
Well, it looks like it's working for him right now, but Smallwood not relying completely on good luck charms. He did pick today's oil pattern, Chris.
I asked him whether he picked the scorpion pattern, was offensive and defensive play, because it became a little bit obvious that it may not fit the rest of these guys' strengths. I thought maybe he played away from their strengths, but he said the same thing to me. The offensive play really likes this pattern.
2 strikes for Shafer, both coming on that left lane as he takes a seat. Ruiz looking for an opening 3-bagger.
Chris, it looked like he came up and out of that shot like he stood up at the foul line. I know a lot of times when that happens, the release point's not going to be very good. Looked like he missed that one a bit.
Yeah, he's coming back act like he's stuck just a little bit at the approach, but even then, lots of times it's because you got out of balance in the middle of that approach.
So a spare there, and
So that's what I'm worried about on that one. Worried about when you get in that it's gonna.
Ryan Shafer in last place through 3 frames. And Ryan, you're having a conversation right now. What are some of the things that are on your mind through 3 frames?
Well, at the beginning of the practice, I had trouble on the left-hand lane, so I took a lot of practice on the left-hand lane, and I think I missed the breakdown on the second on lane 2. So I'm just trying to figure out what to do on that lane now.
Ryan, kind enough to be wired up today. Shafer, a strike, open frame, strike. We're done with 3. Shafer in last, but not by much. When we return, one of these will be eliminated. The PBA World Championship is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. By Barbazol. Start your day cool with new Arctic Chill shaving cream from Barbazol. Better buy Barbazol. And by the USBC and its 2 million members. To find out more about USBC, log on to bowl.com today. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the PBA World Championship from South Point Casino and Exhibition Hall. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, and Chris Barnes with you. And here's how this year's PBA Championship works. Top 16 qualifiers are divided into 4 groups. You see them there with their overall seed from number 1 to 16. Surviving member of each group will advance to the January 15th World Championship Finals, something that has already been accomplished by Osku Palermo last week. He did it in the Carter division. Today, it's the Hardwick division, followed by the Petraglia and the Albee divisions in the coming weeks. Lots to look forward to on the road to the PBA World Championship. Again, this is the Hardwick division. Low man eliminated, and the top 3 move on to match number 2. Gomez and Shafer battling for that 3rd spot through 3 frames. Here's your leader right now, Tom Smallwood, as we begin the 4th. Smallwood with that victory in Wichita in mid-December in 09. Former unemployed auto worker giving it a go with permission from the missus for a little bit on the PBA Tour. And all he does is win a major just before the holidays. And every time I reflect back on that, I still get the goosebumps, and it still gets a little dusty inside.
Yeah, it was a great story, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
And he's showing it wasn't just a little one-hit wonder. He's not a fluke by any stretch.
Remember, he finished runner-up to Mika Tournament of Champions last season.
And he was the 1 seed. Here's Gomez. Pretty stuff. Back-to-back strikes for Andres.
Well, guys, this is the Billy Hardwick division. And as you know, he won the 1963 PBA National Championship, now the World Championship. And he was the first player in PBA history to complete bowling's Triple Crown. And that would include Tournament of Champions and the U.S. Open.
Only 6 have ever won the Triple Crown. Do you know who that 6th was?
Yes, this guy sitting next to me.
It was? I thought it was you.
No, definitely not.
Shafer gets all 10 to drop. Randy, we're here to self-promote you as well. You won this tournament in 1987 in Toledo, your lone major of your Hall of Fame career.
But it should have been 2.
Yeah, I kind of got cheated out of another one, but
That one pretty good for the weed, if I remember right.
we don't need to go there. I just got out of therapy over that one.
Ruiz on the left lane. Ruiz quietly having a very strong game. Strike, strike, 9 spare, strike. Tom Smallwood, the #2 overall seed here at the PBA World Championship. He's the highest seed here in this division, able to pick the oil pattern he wanted to roll on. And he drops all 10 here on the Scorpion.
Hey, Chris, who do you think has the best ball reaction?
I'm going to go with Mr. Smallwood. He did a nice job of breaking down that outside. I was watching him. I didn't agree with his strategy, but it's looking golden right now.
I mean, Ruiz's reaction looks good as well, but I'll tell you what, Tom Smallwood knew what he was doing when he picked Scorpion thus far.
Earlier this year in Guadalajara, Mexico, the Pan Am Games took place. Gomez participated for Colombia, won bronze in the doubles, lost in the singles in the quarterfinals. Chris, you were there as well.
Yeah, and they had a great run there. Lost to his partner, actually, in the singles final. He beat Bill O'Neill and I both in the round to get to the gold medal.
Ildemaro Ruiz looking for his second double. Messenger, yeah!
Nice. Oh, the Messengers are always fun to watch, and when you're working on a strike, it's always a good thing to see. But Chris, I wanted to revisit Andres Gomez for a second, and who just converted this 3-6-10 in an effort to try to go straighter. Should he not change his roll? Too much side roll is never conducive to throwing the ball straight. I'd like to see him roll it more.
And he is rolling it more compared to what he normally does, but it still doesn't compare to, it's more like what Pete does when he goes straighter. It's still not as rolly as, say, myself or what you can do. Ideally, he'd be more up the back of it. He's going to be dangerous if he can get through this first game, though, and the lanes start to hook.
That's a good point.
4th strike for Shafer. Here's Gomez, who got into bowling at the age of 8, thanks to his mom and dad, who passed on their love of the game to him.
We came on vacation to the States on a summer. They bought me my first bowling ball, and I even slept with it. It was right next to my pillow. I was so excited. I went back home. I got a drill, started bowling, and I wasn't very good when I started, and I just started getting better and better.
Gomez trying to be good enough to survive today. Here he is in the 6th.
Looked like he rolled that one pretty good.
Did roll that one pretty good. That's actually a pretty good sign for him that the ball's picking up, but getting a little flat down lane.
On the right is Gomez's girlfriend. On the left, his sister, who competed here.
Good break. Really? I'm missing freaking head pins and get better than that.
Stuck and then left a 4-7-9. You heard Smallwood say, hey, nice break.
Particularly on that left lane, which is, by consensus of the players, is tighter down lane. Hooks a little sooner, but bails a little bit more at the head pin.
Gomez with the spare. Here's Smallwood, struck in the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. Trying to clean this one up here in the 6th. Tough one, open frame.
He still stays 2 pins ahead of Gomez, who is currently on the bottom of the list in terms of score. Remember, low score is out. The rest will advance to the next game.
Come on.
Yeah! Hey, Chris, there's that voodoo roll that just created a 4-bagger, or what Rob likes to call a...
So do I.
Rob?
You can say it.
Oh, no, I can't.
It's not trademarked.
Yeah, I can't say it.
Chris, feel free.
I won't say it.
You two may now exit the booth. Ruiz, another strike there. Ildemaro from Barquisimeto, which is fun to say, Venezuela. He's got a good group here to cheer him on, mom and dad in attendance. And it's Ruiz on top, Shafer in second, Smallwood and Gomez fighting to not be that number 4 guy because only 3 are invited to the next match. Strike number 4 for Smallwood. Colombian Gomez trying to slow things down a little bit. This pace can kind of get away from you if you're not too careful. And he knows the importance of this effort. Oh, yeah. First strike since the 4th. It was on the verge of being a 7-10.
Watch the head pin take out the 10. The 5 just rolls over the 7. Nice little momentum break for him.
Ten pin left for Ruiz.
As we take a look at Shafer on Cats, this left lane is the green line, and you can see players are starting further to the right and not getting it as far right down the lane. That lane is tighter. Now it's right on target. Another strike for Ryan Shafer. He's made the right moves since that first frame.
Looks like he's going really straight, too. Waiting for the ball to hook down lane, and it doesn't.
Ruiz stays clean with his second spare.
Ruiz looks great right now. My concern for him would be as it goes on, hit ball speed is too much on this 41-foot pattern. Has a tough time to carry.
Smallwood. Open frame the last time he was on this left lane.
Really?
4-9 split. Unbelievable. 4-7-9 last time, Rob, as you alluded to. Now it's the 4-9.
Ready for my second, finish 15th.
Not good to be thinking about end results this early in the game. But he moved in about a board and a half at the arrows there. Tried to make a pretty good move left. It's still hooked from that same spot.
Gomez with the strike. Smallwood still stewing a little bit over this one.
You know, with all these international players, it's really hard for me to translate everything. And I have absolutely no idea what Andres Gomez said, although I think he said, "Give it to me."
Regardless, I think he was happy. Smallwood now in 4th place. Shafer on a good little roll here, looking for 6 in a row.
Hold it. Yeah.
Crack open that 6-pack.
At the top of the show, Chris, you mentioned that voodoo roll of Ryan Shafer's, and it enables him to do some things that others just can't.
That was a pretty good little trick right there. That looked like it was going high.
Strike 6 for the Venezuelan. And it's a game like this one that really makes a player fall in love with the sport all over again.
The feeling that you get when you're bowling is amazing. I can't compare it with anything. It's like love, like that.
It's Ruiz and Shafer in great position to move on. Gomez fairly comfortable. Smallwood, time to make a move right now. We begin the 9th. He's down 20 pins from that last spot to move on to match 2. Much needed strike.
That's twice as bad. There's 2 shots over there didn't strike. It's twice as bad.
He hasn't missed the pocket yet. He's got 2 open frames, both pocket splits. He's left a 10-pin and a 4-pin. That's it. He can still shoot 205. Andres Gomez is at 205 right now, but he can really distance himself right here with a strike and a 3-bagger.
matching the strike from Smallwood.
Andres starting to get a little more comfortable, getting a little bit softer with his speed, getting to where he really likes to play the lanes.
Double there for Ruiz.
Chris, critique Ruiz's game for us. You see Andres talking to his ball reps. What do you think about this Emblema Monticelli protege?
Well, he's got some great feel. You know, he bowled well on the patterns that hooked the most. And so I was a little unsure how he would do here, but they broke him down enough to the right where he can be firm and create a little bit of hold. And when he's got a little bit of hold, he's shot some really big numbers.
Top three move on to match number 2. Smallwood, the odd man out right now with 1 frame to go.
And that'll seal the deal.
Thanks. Gomez was the man he was chasing. But Tom Smallwood, your number 2 overall seed for the PBA World Championship, but the eliminator format kind of equalizes things. And here in the Billy Hardwick division, your number 2 seed is going home despite that strike.
Pretty unfortunate, really, because this left lane was his undoing.
The lone American to move on. Shafer, Ruiz, Gomez advance to match 2 here in the Billy Hardwick division of the PBA World Championship. Match number 1 in the books. Tom Smallwood, a 194 here at the South Point Casino and Exhibition Hall. Not enough. Some big numbers put up in match number 1. So Smallwood packs his bags and he is done. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Chris Barnes back here with you. And big numbers from match number 1. What does that mean for our next match?
Well, Chris and I kind of talked about it before we went to break, and you know, it's all about the oil pattern holding up. And now that the high rev guy Smallwood is gone, you expect that to happen. We don't have a Sean Rash on this show. We don't have a Jason Belmonte on this show. We don't have an Oscar Palermo on this show. We have 3 kind of regular guys that kind of play the lanes similar, and I expect the oil pattern to hold up.
I think you're absolutely right. I think the oil pattern is going to hold up. Last week we saw Dom move far left, probably too early, and may have run himself out of room and cost himself a shot to advance. This time, everybody, including Andres Gomez, who loves to play deep, stayed to the right, let it build and develop, and I think he's the guy that has the advantage moving forward.
Ryan Shafer, though, was the high man with a 267. That included 10 strikes, including at one point 9 in a row. Andres Gomez on the right lane. Starts off with the strike. His best World Championship finish came in '09 when he placed 36th. Shafer, a runner-up in this tournament in 2008.
Get up.
And he continues his hot shooting. You think Ryan's feeling it?
He's having fun.
Fun, always a part of the equation for Mr. Shafer.
I like to keep things a little loose. You know, it's not always easy to be on tour. You're away from your family a lot of the time. It's a tough way to make a living. We all love it, but you have to recognize it's a tough way to make a living. So I try to keep things loose. But also, I hope they recognize I'm a good sport. If somebody bowls well, I always tell them nice bowling, because it is tough to bowl well out here.
And Shafer bowling well today. A 267 in match number 1, and he started off here with the strike. Ildemaro Ruiz from Venezuela, trying to match his competitor's strikes here in the first. And he does.
Still has that hold area, it looks like, Chris.
It's in pretty good shape. He stayed pretty much in exactly where he was in game 1. It looks like the other two players have both moved a little further left in this break, trying to take advantage of that area that's created.
Chris, we both talked about how Andres is trying to strengthen his arsenal, and one of the ways is trying to go straighter, and by doing so, he's trying to keep his hand more underneath. Watch the release.
It's pretty stuff.
That's really good from where he was 2 years ago. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't even remotely in the game plan.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was, I guess, regarded more for standing left and throwing right, and that was pretty much all he could do.
Shafer 267 in match 1, your high score.
Just a pinch height. He was asking for it to hold and lay off, and only leaving the 4-pin, unlike Tom Smallwood in our first game where he left.
Okay.
Where Tom Smallwood left 4-7-9 and 4-9.
I'm no professional translator either, but I'm pretty sure that was hold.
And then I think he followed that up with an okay. Okay.
Very good.
Yeah,
That's top notch.
Shafer. Single pin spare conversion there in the second. Air ball.
I mean, that wasn't even close.
You can get caught up in the pace of this sometimes.
Boy, it looked like it never left his hand.
Look over on the left.
Yeah, the signage.
The signage is moving back and forth in the middle of his approach. I would see almost no way where he wouldn't see that on the way up there.
Strike for Gomez.
Doesn't excuse it, but it's still off.
Well, he should have just walked away.
But he didn't react to it either.
No.
He didn't react like to a tournament official or hey guys, the Dorner just got me.
It was unbelievably noticeable from my vantage point, and I was amazed he kept going on with it. Shafer on the left lane. Cranks that one, and a 10-pin party in the pit there. Nice bounce back shot from Ruiz, gets the messenger to drop the 10. And things tight through 3, but it's Gomez on top, perfect through 3. Ruiz down 16 to Shafer, top 2 advance.
The PBA World Championship is brought to you by Bayer. Try Bayer Advanced Aspirin, extra strength pain relief, twice as fast as before. By Ebonite, bowl to win. By Jack Link's. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. And by Atonic, power up your game.
Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Chris Barnes, welcome you back to Las Vegas. Guys, have you done your holiday shopping yet?
Not yet.
That's typical. Wait until the last moment, Randy. I have a solution for you. Head on over to PBA.com. You can buy all the official PBA merchandise and apparel you want. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, bowling towels, everything. Just click on the shop tab over there on PBA.com. There is no Hall of Fame discount, though.
I'm going to get my son Chad a hoodie. He loves hoodies.
Gomez, your leader here in match number 2 on the left lane.
This is shaping up pretty good for Mr. Gomez right now. That shot was a little inside of target, according to our Cats data, and didn't really threaten to go high.
Cats, the computer-aided tracking system, courtesy of our friends in Central Florida at the Kegel facility. We were there a couple years ago for a wonderful tournament. Les Malott and Carolyn Doran Ballard put on an awesome show. Kegel, the official training center of the PBA.
Well, ball change for Shafer on the right lane. Rob, any idea how to say ham bone in Spanish?
I tell you what, whenever we have an international competitor, I always ask them how they say ham bone in their native language, and then they just kind of look at me blankly. Much like Ruiz is staring at that shot. Nasty big 4 in his grill right now.
Right now, the left lane is not his friend, leaving the big 4. The big 4 has only been made once on television. That by a guy who carries the moniker Walter Ray Williams Jr. You may have heard of him.
Gomez, drop and give me 10 in the 5th. And he is perfect through 5.
Yeah, and it can get worse. Shafer working on a double. Andres is perfect through 5.
Shafer looking for a 3-bagger here. He has struck both times on this left lane. Well, he's not afraid of that left lane, guys.
Like he's gone to a stronger ball in that left lane. It's a little bit tighter down lane. All the players said the same thing. Hooks a little bit early, but when the oil gets down there, it doesn't want to hook back.
Ruiz had a 258 in the last game and gets back on the strike train there. Needed that after the open frame.
He'll need to do that another 5 or 6 times to get back in this. These 3 players vying for a 1 in 4 chance of winning the PBA World Championship. 40 games of qualifying done on 4 different animal oil patterns just to make it to this point. Top 16 advanced. There are 4 divisions.
Ooh. Gomez right of target, and his great start comes to an end. Shafer stepping up. He's over on the right lane while Gomez eyeballs this one. Shafer looking for 4 in a row. Leaves the 10. Gomez steps up on the left. Difficult split conversion as Shafer gets his spare ball. Open frame for Andres. Shafer in the 6th. Looking for a spare. Takes care of that one. And Ruiz comes up 2 opens, but is currently working on a strike.
Well, Ruiz still has a chance to shoot 230 here. And he did put together a bunch of strikes in that game 1. I wouldn't count him out just yet.
Seeking his first double. And he's got it.
Who's most excited about Ildemaro's success here in Vegas? Yeah, his parents, especially his dad, Ildemaro Sr.
More happy than me is him right now, because he's living a dream that he wants to do against me. You know, be with me right here, because he's right now, he just arrived for see the finals. That say how happy he is.
Mom and dad coming all the way from Barquisimeto, Venezuela, to see Ildemaro today. Now here's Gomez in the 7th.
Wait a minute. Wait for it. Denied. I'll tell you, I think this is some of the best bowling I've seen him do in quite some time, Chris, in terms of what he's doing at the bottom of the swing, his little different tilt now. He's got more roll, less of that side spinning rotation. I really like what he's been working on and how far he's come in just the last couple of years.
Shafer gets them all to drop. Going back to the Gomez conversation, still without a PBA Tour title, but was 10th on the earnings list last season.
Yeah, this is good work, too. And our Cat's data, he's spot on this game. Everything's within a half a board on each lane. His speed control is very good. And his rotation, which Randy, you've alluded to it, not really doing what his favorite thing is, but it's awfully, awfully consistent right now.
We're taking next week off for Christmas, but we'll be back on New Year's Day with our next telecast, the Petraglia division of the PBA World Championship. 4 more hopefuls trying to get to the finals of the first major of the season. And what a way to kick off 2012. PDW, Pete Weber, and World Championship #1 seed Sean Rash, as well as the up-and-comer Nathan Bohr and the powerhouse lefty Ryan Simonelli. That is in 2 weeks, New Year's Day, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN.
Ruiz looking for 3 in a row. Borderline mandatory strike here.
Baja, bola, baja, bola, baja. Puede ser, ¿no? Tan cerca el tiro y no puede ser que no me lo dé, güey.
Exactly.
It's looking like this is going to be a Gomez-Shafer finale. Unfortunately for Ruiz, he's just out of frames now.
Uh-oh. 7-10, wait a second.
Things interesting on the count that'll put him on a 210 pace, and the most Ruiz can shoot now is 209.
I'm still going with Gomez.
He's been the most consistent one out here. So an open frame for Gomez, had a 222 in the opening match. Shafer led everybody with that 267, which included 10 strikes. Here he is in the 8th, looking for a double. It would be his 6th strike of match #2.
Get away with that.
He will not get away with that.
All right, so now it's getting kind of interesting.
Ruiz now has some hope. This ball is just inside of target all the way. About a board and a half inside the last one. Just the trajectory through the front was not right.
On the left lane, right through the nose. He had the chance. It was given to him.
And Ruiz, compared to everyone else, is actually further left on the left lane, where everyone else is playing the right lane to hook more. And my guess is because of his entry angle is so much shallower than everyone else, he feels like he has to be close to the head pin.
He's left, but much straighter, much tighter.
And our friends at Cats, his last 3 shots on the right lane, this is Andres Gomez. They all look like one.
Yeah.
See if we can put one more up. Yes, the other line has been added, but you can barely tell.
Just a hair left.
The left line just seems like it pushes a little bit more. Not much. This one, you see the ball entering the pins the better way, right?
Some discussion on the side as Gomez prepares for our final match of the day. Shafer.
Hey, Chris and Rob, he was speaking with Del Ballard and Chris Schlemmer there. And Del Ballard, I think, just said something very interesting, which kind of gets back to Chris Barnes' point. He says, can you move in and go around it a little bit more? Which is exactly what Andres Gomez likes to do.
Our final is set. The Colombian Andres Gomez versus the PBA vet Ryan Shafer, who will advance to the January 15th PBA World Championship Final. Find out with us. Kick off your New Year's Day with the Bloody Mary and the PBA. January 1st, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN. Our continuing coverage of the PBA World Championship rolls on. The Johnny Petraglia division. Sean Rash, Pete Weber. Enough said. I'm watching because of those two guys, but a couple young guns involved as well in Ryan Simonelli and Nathan Bork. Ruiz, 180, the low score of the day, and he is eliminated. Shafer, Gomez roll on. And here's today's More of What Matters to You fan question, brought to you by the makers of One-A-Day Men's Pro Edge, and it comes your way from Patrick Martin from California. It goes to Ryan Shafer. And Ryan, how do you know when it's the right time to make a move?
Usually for me, it's either when I go high and I don't feel like I can move left with that ball anymore, or if I flat 10. Flat 10 to me is the ball's burning up and it's not going to make the right shape anymore.
And Ryan, Chris Barnes here. A lot of people know you're diabetic. How does the adrenaline affect your blood sugar and maybe your feel?
I think at first the blood sugar kind of spikes with the adrenaline and the anxiousness of being on the show. It wasn't too bad today. Obviously with exercise you can get a low, but with my insulin pump I can back off my insulin basal rate, and it keeps me like a normal person.
Thank you, Ryan. You see the JDRF logo there on his right chest. Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund, one of his sponsors. A wonderful story. Ryan Shafer, Andres Gomez will bowl for the right to move on to the finals of the first major of the season, the PBA World Championship. We'll have it when we return. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Chris Barnes welcoming you back to match 3 here in the Hardwick division of the PBA World Championship. Andres Gomez from Bogota, Colombia. Ryan Shafer from Horseheads, New York. The winner will move on and become the second of 4 finalists at the first major of the year, the PBA World Championship, which will be held January 15th right here in Las Vegas.
Chris, who do you like in this final match and why?
I am going to stick with Andres Gomez. And I think he has the advantage. He's a little deeper on the lane. I think he's going to be able to create more room and more carry angle.
After that strike by Gomez, you saw him kind of moonwalk back and stare down things. Looks like he may have a little question in his mind right here. Shafer steps up on the right lane. Messenger. Ah.
That would have been a shame.
Ball goes right by the 9-pin. He was looking for the 4 to get nudged into it. Didn't happen for him, but single pin spare attempt nonetheless.
Ryan Shafer with the spare in the first, and here's his arsenal.
He's going with a Nano Pearl on the left lane, Marvel Pearl on the right lane.
Boy, that right hand is loaded up with tape and gloves.
A lot of games bowled to get here.
Mm-hmm. It is a grind.
You saw the hook ratings for those bowling balls, and that's the strongest ball that he has brought with him for this final match. The strongest ball, he's using it on the left lane. Chris, why?
Well, because the left lane is tighter down lane. He needs that stronger ball. Ryan's little voodoo roll and a little bit of loft gets him through the front, which is troublesome for some of the players, including Ruiz. That stronger ball allows him to keep that speed up and still get through the pins.
Gomez in the second.
3-6-10.
Not the easiest of pickups here. 3-6-10.
Inside a target all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Never got it far enough to the right. And it's not like you want to shoot the 3-6-10 every day, but it's better than shooting a big 4.
Perfectly executed.
Yeah, and at this level, you have to be a good spare shooter. Andres is also using a Marvel Pearl, but he's using it on both lanes.
And he's been staring down both of these lanes early on as well.
Andres is a feel guy, so I think he sees it in pictures, and just by looking at it, he can see the shapes, trying to memorize those on his way.
And you can see what Chris Barnes is talking about, how this lane is tight down the lane. Watch the ball come off the end of the pattern, and the move going left isn't strong enough to kick that 10-pin out.
Courtesy of our friends at Catch, you can see on the right lane, that's the red line. Ryan is playing that lane almost 5 boards drier, and with a ball that gets down the lane a little bit further. The black is the left lane, playing it much tighter, getting to the same break point, but getting there in a much different way. See that shot, he actually was a little bit deeper with his feet, started a little inside, but got it further right than his first shot on that lane. As that blue line overlaps, still got to the pocket, but very light.
That ball right about 4th arrow to 10. And that spinny kind of roll keeps the pins low and really mixes them up.
Shifts over to the left lane. Had a strike there in the second.
Come on.
been pretty good on that lane, Rob.
Perfect on that left lane all day long, and Shafer taking it all in stride.
I think you have to understand everybody gets good breaks and everybody gets bad breaks, and it's how you respond to them. You can't get too high at the good breaks and you can't get too low at the bad breaks. You got to kind of have an even keel. You have to be a grinder. And patience is a big thing. And in every other aspect of my life, I am very impatient. Driving, whatever have you, but in bowling, I'm very patient, and it's worked well for me.
Well, it certainly has with 4 PBA titles. Now he's in the process of trying to get that elusive first major at the age of 45. Gomez in the 4th. Last time up, he left the 3-6-10.
310, baby
Chandra's really struggling on this right lane. Seen a lot more friction, and with Ryan playing at 5 deeper, it makes it more difficult for him to use the same ball on both lanes and get a consistent reaction.
Well, that time he went to a different ball on the right lane, and that didn't work. And boy, at the start of this match, it looked like Andres had the right picture, and now all of a sudden we're both questioning what he's trying to do in terms of how he's attacking these 2 lanes in this final match.
Strike, spare, open frame. He's locked and loaded at a 66, down 34 to Shafer. Couldn't afford to let things slip too much further away, so a very important strike there for Gomez in the 5th.
He's gone away from the bowling ball that we showed you in his arsenal. He's actually gone to something a little less aggressive.
Yeah, a little bad shot. I think that's the right ball, though. Yeah. They're pretty close to lanes. I mean, I don't know why he obviously spawned them good, but for me, they're not that different where I am.
Try to make it up, just let it go.
A little early turn there, causing the ball to go left of target. Let's see if Ryan can convert the 3-6-10 and maintain a pretty nice lead.
And he gets to go to the left lane when he's done.
Earlier we saw him hook at that with his strike ball. That time he used the plastic ball.
Having issues with the 3-6-10 right now.
So each with an open frame here.
Been there with him.
It's not my favorite to shoot at.
Good news though, guys, for Shafer. He's on the left lane where he has been perfect all day long. And it continues.
Is that an Indy Verapapa 300 if you're 12 out of 12 on just one lane?
No, but we should call it the Shafer 300.
Shafer.
Yeah.
Well, Shafer knows all about 300 games, guys. Let's flash back to this past summer at the Geico PBA Team Shootout. Had a 300 there, and then he and his teammate, Jason Belmonte, also dropped a perfect game in the doubles competition as well. Pretty good summer for Ryan.
Be right.
Strike number 3 for Gomez and a double there. The lead trimmed to 7 for Shafer as Gomez's girlfriend and sister take in the action. Gomez on the left lane, looking for a triple.
he liked that shot a lot, too. Wow. That looked really good rhythm-wise, too.
Never turned over down the lane. He ran this out and almost left the bucket.
This is no bargain here.
I'd rather shoot the 3-6-10 than the 2-4-8 because of that back pin, the 8-pin.
Got it. And that'll be your fast, safe pain relief replay brought to you by the makers of Bear Advanced Aspirin. Just barely enough to get that one to drop.
What do you call that, Rob? Skinny jeans?
Oh, man, I'm not even sure those are skinny jeans. He continues to discuss with his help. And here's Ryan Shafer. The right lane has been his issue.
Not the right ball. Hook's right here.
Oh, you heard him say it. Not the right ball. Look for a ball change. And the next time he's on the right lane, he says it's hooking right at his feet, meaning it's hooking early, and therefore the ball's not pushing far enough to the right.
Fortunate here to have a 3-frame stretch and still have the lead.
Well, Ryan, you've dominated on that left lane, but what is going on in the right lane in your eyes right now?
I don't think that lane likes me very much. We're going to have to do something in the 9th frame on it.
Don't take it personally. We appreciate your time, Ryan.
Oh, one of the funnier men you'll ever meet. Great sense of humor, dry, sarcastic. But he is and has had some great moments in terms of humor.
Looking for his 4th strike here on the left lane. Closing in on the Ryan Shafer 300 game on the left lane.
He's really stayed about where he was even in game 1 on that left lane.
Yeah.
They'll stay real firm, throwing it right at the 3-pin, just tipping a little bit at the end.
And he gets the finish on that lane. A lot of really good things working for him.
It's that next frame he has to get through.
Gomez made the adjustment on this lane last time. See if he can do it again.
He's down 10. There's your adjustment.
And Chris, I'm not so sure he's totally 100% committed to the bowling ball he's throwing, the line he's playing. I don't think he's convinced it's the right way to go.
I think you're absolutely right. It's hooked early on that right lane a couple of times. That shot was a little bit firmer to hold it on line. But if he gets firm on this lane, it's not going to make it.
Remember the last time on this lane, he ran it out and left the 2-5-8. It's never a good sign when you're running out the bucket.
Caught that one.
Good news for Andres. He doesn't have to bowl on the left lane again. Bad news, he's trailing by 10, and Shafer's working on a strike in the 8th.
Yeah, the bad news is if Shafer figures out a way to turn that voodoo roll into a strike in the 9th, I don't think Andres is going to get to throw another shot to have a chance.
So Shafer will step up on the right lane. He only has 1 strike on that lane here in our final match of the day. The winner will move on to the finals of the first major of the year, the PBA World Championship. See the rather significant difference between success rates on the left and the right lane.
Hold it. Man, threw that good.
7, 10, split.
Friends at Kegel, you can see that ball crossed. He tried to get a little firmer with it, make it stay on line there, move to the right, about 3 boards from 21 to about 17, and it didn't hold. This is what he wanted to do. He was trying to execute. Didn't work.
Trying to avoid a second open frame here in our final match of the day.
Get over it.
Open frame in the 5th and the 9th, both on that right lane.
Completely changes everything now. Down 2 pins, he can strike out to force Andres to go double 9 spare.
Yeah, the good news is Shafer's on the left lane, and he's been perfect all day on the left lane.
Worst shot of the year.
Got away with it.
Did he just say worst shot of the year?
I think he did. And according to our friends at Kegel on the CAT stat, it was about a board, almost a board and a half inside of the last shot.
Worst shot of the year.
I appreciate his honesty. Got away with the big one there in the 10th. Trying to tighten the pressure a little bit more on Gomez.
Get up! Hit it! That's terrible.
All of a sudden, he's starting to lose it on the left lane.
Well, all day long, he has not made back-to-back shots like that on that lane.
Right there.
And when he needed it most, he threw 2 of his worst shots of the day.
That's how you blow a tournament right there. Stupid ring.
The dreaded overcompensation. How many times do you see a guy go washout or 2-8-10 only to grab the next shot and have it go high? Gomez.
9 spare strike to win it.
Yep.
Shafer done at a 191, by far his lowest total here today. He started with a 267. That dropped 60 pins to a 207, and now he sits and stares at a 191 and hopes that's enough. For Gomez, 8 spare, strike is a tie, 7 or less, and Gomez goes home.
They got, they got, they got.
Just like that.
Not enough. Shafer is your winner.
We talked about it. I wasn't convinced it was the right way to go. The line looks good. Wrong ball. Too soft, too weak down lane.
Yeah, it just looks like it picks up in the front, and he felt like he couldn't get the ball down the lane, so he forced it through. He trusted it.
He needed a 9 spare strike to advance. Gomez does not get it. Shafer celebrates. He moves on. We'll hear from him when we return.
The PBA World Championship is brought to you by One A Day Men's Pro Edge, a multivitamin with more of what matters. By Spiriva Handy Hailer. And by Brunswick. Find your next ball at bowlwithbrunswick.com.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Our continuing coverage of the PBA World Championship. 2 of the 4 slots have been booked for the finals of the first major of the year, the PBA World Championship, as Ryan Shafer has joined Osku Palermo. Here's how we got here, courtesy of the Geico Championship recap. Match number 1, Tom Smallwood in the 8. 194, not enough, gone. Match 2. Ildemaro Ruiz, the big 4 in the 4th. Big problems. 180. Please exit the building. Match number 3. Ryan Shafer all over the left lane all day long. Continued his success. Gomez in the 10th. 9 spare. Strike for the lead. Didn't get it. Reacts from Shafer. Don't cheat me. He knows he moved on, and he's standing by with Randy.
Well, Ryan, it was certainly back and forth in that final match. After being perfect all day long in the left lane, you made 2 of the worst shots all day. I want to know what was going through your mind when you were sitting down watching Andres Gomez pull the 10th frame.
Well, first of all, in the 9th frame, I switched balls again for the 4th time on that lane, and I threw that ball as good as I could throw it, and it went high and split. So I got up in the 10th, and for me, that lane hadn't changed all day. So you start thinking in your mind that it might change. So I chunked that shot and got away with it. The second shot, I just threw 100 miles an hour, and I was thinking that, just like usual, it would go my way. But Andres is a great bowler. The right lane was trouble for everybody, and he left a 2-8-10. He probably threw it good. I'm not going to say he didn't throw. I wasn't watching, but he probably threw it where he thought he needed to throw, and it just didn't react. And I usually don't get excited like that because I don't like to show up my opponent, but it meant a lot to me.
Well, you've been so close so many times in majors. What would winning a major finally mean to you at this point in your career?
I can retire in peace. I'm 45. It's getting kind of late. I know Mike Scroggins won one pretty old, and he's my inspiration for that.
Thanks, Ryan.
Now you can hear the emotion in Shafer's voice. He has moved on, and he has a chance finally for that elusive major. Who will join him? Rash, Weber, Simonelli, Bohr. Find out on New Year's Day, 1 Eastern, right here on ESPN. A 191. It wasn't the prettiest of scores today, but it was enough in the final match, and Shafer moves on to the Final 4 of the PBA World Championship. For Chris and Randy, I'm Rob.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.